I came in like a wrecking ball. Bop, 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 bop. What is up, Jeromes? We're back on the daily live streams. Keep hope alive. No jive, keep hope alive. That's right. We're here on a Monday. Welcome on in. So I'm gonna be zooming through this pretty quick because Daddy's got some stuff to do, heading out to undisclosed location, and of course news is absolutely gonna break this afternoon. Like I don't know, it would be like Kirk Cousins on the IR. Trade Eric Hendricks for 2 first-round picks. I don't know. There's going to be a lot going on. Yeah, so we will do this. Thank you very much for coming along and making us part of your day. You are the best. Live stream, you're the best. On demand, you're pretty cool too. And yeah, coming off that loss, pretty pathetic. But we rise again. Get knocked down 17,000 times, get up 17,001. That's why we always come back, bringing on the pain. And also, that's the funny thing about the NFL is that it is a 24/7, 365 season. It is. There is no offseason in the NFL, minus probably like 3 weeks in July. Right. But yeah, definitely longer this year because of the Rona. But yeah, because even if your team starts out 0-6, you're already looking forward to the draft. So that, yeah, if the Vikings do start out 0-6, which could that be a real possibility? Because you got Derrick Henry and Tennessee coming in. Then you go down to Houston and Deshaun. And then you go to Seattle Sunday Night Football. And then you got the Falcons coming in. I don't know. Yeah. Want to support the work? Hit purpleftw.com/support. Support our sponsors because they support us. Also join the Discord and have a little fun there. Hold on. I got to share the link in the old Discord. Oh, Jerome Survivor Pool has come along pretty swimmingly. Had the Niners yesterday, even though they lost 17,000 people, all their offensive starters basically due to injury. They still beat the Jets, so we'll take that. It's torn ACL for Saquon. Man, it was rough yesterday. Malik Hooker tore an Achilles. I'm guessing Paris Campbell tore his ACL as well. All right, so Nick Bosa tore his ACL too. McCaffrey's gonna miss some time. Drew Lock and Garoppolo gonna miss some time. Titans probably won't have AJ Brown this week, so that's good. Man, it's really rough. It's tough to watch with all the injuries. Also tough to watch the way that the Vikings play football. Yeah. First question. Daniel Smith, I feel like no one in the NFL is going to mention or talk about stupid play calling the last 2 games, not football genius. Everyone's talking about games. I agree, but also, I mean, the offense has been put behind the 8 ball so much that the play calling really does get one-dimensional. Yes, Green Bay game, especially Colts game, there was a lot of ineptitude going on there. So respect. And even in garbage time against the Colts, I mean, Cousins could only throw for 113 yards receiving or 113 yards passing. That's really embarrassing. It is. Jake Simmons, this brings me back to the days of Christian Ponder. Also, do you think the Vikings' decade of dominance is over? No, it will never be over. But, yeah, Cousins got to step his ass up. Last week, we said it wasn't his fault. He actually played pretty well even before garbage time. This week was firmly on him. Charlie Boltman. Sandy is repeating the same process over and over again, expecting a different result. Wilfs, this team bad enough to go 2-12 without tanking? I don't agree with tanking. I disagree with tanking as well, but this team really is too talented to go 2-14. But if they continue to play the way that they did the first 2 weeks, nah. Trey, almost cried watching Stephon Diggs highlights today. Yeah, he looked pretty good. Also, Josh Allen, 400 yards and 4 tutties. Woo. Crazy what he can do when he's in offense, actually unleash him instead of just run, play action to CJ Ham offense. That's not wrong. Nick Paulson, why can't we have nice things? It's because we live here. Tristan D, beautiful state, horrible outcomes in sports and other things. Tristan D, 531. I guarantee the Viking staff is incompetent that even if we have the number 1 pick, they'll probably trade down or be like, we have Kirk Cousins. Yeah, that's what will happen. Like at number 1, they won't take Lawrence, they won't take Trey Lance, they won't take Justin Fields, they'll take Penny Sewell, and then he'll end up being a bust. Even though I don't think he will be. Penny Sewell's pretty damn good. Seth V. Herman. The team is loaded with talent, but missing some key positions that are being exploited like crazy. Suggestion to fix: Dom Capers or Adam Zimmer need to take over defensive play calling and get more aggressive. Blitz linebackers and corners help slow the run game and make the quarterback uncomfortable. Thoughts? Wait, you're allowed to blitz corners? I did not know that. That's strange. But yeah, the guy gets something cooking up front. I mean, it was nice to see Yannick get off the schneid. He had 4 pressures and a sack on 25 dropbacks yesterday. But something else has to come up. And also, what is the obsession with Shamar Stephen? That's what I want to know. This team is obsessed with Shamar Stephen, and he's perfectly average. Cool. Toby Larone. Why is our offense so bad? It seems like our players. Doesn't want to win. They don't have energy. And have you watched the Bills lately? I missed Diggs. Yeah, the Bills offense is interesting. I don't know. Like, the receivers dropping everything yesterday. Cousins being off target. Cousins throwing picks. Drew Samia being ass. Dakota Dozier also being ass. There's a lot of also. Where's Kyle Rudolph? Also, Irv. That was probably his worst game as a pro. Just rough all the way around out there. Lorenz Kindling. I think it is kind of obvious that there's a lack of fire in the locker room. I think the biggest reason is Coach Zim, but the other is Everson and Diggs leaving, both high motor guys. What do you think? Zim can put the blame on the players all he wants, and I get the sort of super reductive, well, it's the players that are on the field. The players have to be motivated. Like, as a coach, like, what is your job? If you had to boil down the job of a head coach down to one thing, what is it? Get your team ready to play on Sunday. Was that team ready to play on Sunday or last Sunday? No. So whose fault is that? It's one guy's. Also, and the Titans actually need a quarterback against the Vikings D. Henry can just run over us all day. Yeah, if I'm the Titans, if I'm Mike Vrabel, if I'm Art Smith, I would just run Henry in the Wildcat all day until the Vikings stop it. Any news from Hunter? Nada right now. Ben Weatherly. Do you think Dantzler and Gladney should start with Hughes in the slot? Yes. Man, I want Hill off the field. Yes. Especially with how pass happy the league is, could make any cornerback look good. Yes. Even though Gladney didn't grade out great on Sunday, similar with how Dantzler didn't grade out great week 1. I think they both showed enough spunk and tenacity that you're really intrigued by their future. So yeah, let them get their lumps in now. Pulford Skull. How do we avoid 0-5? Titans are going to crush us. I live here in Titan country, and old Tannehill is going to have a picnic, and King Henry is going to bulldoze Holton Hill for 10 touchdowns. That is a good question. Titans are going to be tough. How are you going to stop Derrick Henry? Then Houston's going to be tough. I mean, Deshaun Watson is one of the better young quarterbacks in the league. And then you're at Seattle. Russ is playing at an MVP level, and then you have the pissed off Falcons coming in. Would you bet on the Vikings starting 0-6 into the bye? Which, again, if Zimmer didn't have that extension, he would be fired at the bye. Hands down. Even if they went in at like 1-5 or maybe even 2-4. Ron Singh. Vikings didn't play well on both sides of the ball. Patience is the key to success. Last season, the Vikings had a bad game in Chicago week 4, and they addressed those issues and made the playoffs. I believe the same process here, and they will have success moving forward. Well, how did they address them week 4? How did they address them week 4? The Vikings' main issue is lack of pass rush, and they can't stop the run, right? So how are they going to fix stopping the run? Could they change things up front? Yes. Could they sign a guy like Stacks Harrison? Sure. Daniil Hunter back is going to be key. Yes. And I think that once you start getting a pass rush, everything else will sort of take care of itself. Offensively, there's not really much you can do. Like re-sign Josh Klein to replace Drew Samia. Rough. Not start Dakota Dozier. I mean, the performance that Dozier had yesterday, it was his fault on the safety, 100%. And I still don't get it. Like, I understand like the known suck versus the theoretical suck, but I don't know. If you get that level of play from Dozier, how worse would Ezra Cleveland actually be? That's what I want to know. Eric Hansen. The one thing the Vikings seemed to improved upon last week, alcohol sales during the game. Oh, yeah, we can buy booze on Sundays in Minnesota now. Good times. Someone needs to remind Zim he's not in Cincinnati anymore. They look more like the Bungles than the Vikings. No, I mean, those Bengals defenses are actually good. I mean, Geno Atkins. So when does Angry Kirk show up? When he starts reading his press clippings again. Also, stop doing your damn podcast. Like, I understand that players do have free time during the week, but it's a bad look, man. Like when you're getting eviscerated, like fans can be very fickle. Like when team isn't playing good and you're actually just like having fun or living your life. Why isn't he studying his playbook or something trivial and reductive like that, right? Robert Barweiler. Is there any backup quarterbacks in the market we could sign to light a fire under Cousins' ass? I actually don't think that Kaepernick can still play. But I say do it just to drive everyone nuts. Just for the headlines. Just for Zimmer getting along with Kaepernick. Just for how Vikings fans would react. Why the hell not? No, but in reality, Sluter. Man. Robert Vuvuzelas. I think we need to draft our franchise quarterback this year. Yeah, this is why I am team draft a quarterback every single year and don't wait till the 7th round and take Nate Stanley. Yeah. It's like the Patriots and Brady. Like, 3rd round pick, Ryan Mallett. 2nd round pick, Jimmy Garoppolo. 4th round pick, Jacoby Brissett. 4th round pick, Jarrett Stidham. I think they also, 3rd round pick, Kevin O'Connell. Like, even when Brady was in his ass prime, they still spent draft picks on a quarterback. And you didn't hear Boston Sports bitching and moaning. Well, what are they doing with? They have Tom Brady. Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time. How come they're not getting Tom Brady some more weapons, huh? How come they spend it sometimes on Jimmy Garoppolo? Eastern Illinois. I don't even know where that is. It's in Eastern Illinois. But this is what happens. Because your alternatives are Sean Mannion and a UDFA and a guy who should have been a UDFA. Gabe Sand and 14-2. Let's go. I'm in. This is what always happens where after a Vikings loss, especially a bad one like that, pretty bummed on a Monday, a little bit pissed off. The videos are a little bit snarkier. And then by Friday, I'm already talking shit. It's like, yeah, Tennessee going down, by the way. And also, we're diving in conspiracy theories. Are the Vikings actually tanking? Are the Wilfs and Zimmer and Spielman in on this? And also, I feel like I'm getting too close to the rabbit hole, too far down the rabbit hole. Like if I ended up suicided with 2 shots in my head, it wasn't me. That got a little bit too real. Samson Romaine. If Zimmer were to be fired, who'd you want to replace him, like the Niners defensive coordinator? I would take Eric Bieniemy. I think he's a true leader of men. I loved him when he's a running backs coach here with the Vikings. He's the only coach that actually got through Adrian Peterson's head. And then also, so Eric Bieniemy or Lincoln Riley. Yeah, it's just a great leader or an offensive dynamo guru kid, whatever. Sure. Thorvald Von Johnson. Chaos reigns on the offense after they run the scripted plays. Do you think Gary Kubiak's best days of play calling are behind him? Or is he never a good play caller? Does offense coordinators call plays? No, he called plays, and he was pretty damn good. But, I mean, this is a man who hasn't called plays since 2016. It's a long time ago in football years. So, Paz Mello. Also, yes, once they get off scripted plays, I mean, the poop does hit the fan. Paz Mello. Look at our schedule coming up the rest of the year. I could see easily losing 11 games. In the next 12 weeks? Maybe. Richard Olson, I love the channel. I live in Cheesehead country, and it's much appreciated. Hey, thank you. If you could make one change, head coach, OC, GM, or quarterback, which would be? Question based on many of the comments out there. Well, can't change the GM or the head coach because they got a big-ass contract. I don't see them changing Kubiak, and they're obviously going to stick with Cousins. So, I mean, if this was a theoretical question, I would change the head coach. And I'm a big-time Zimmer supporter. But it does feel like the message has gotten stale. And if the young kids aren't responding to said message, yeah. Luke K. I feel, shame that they got rid of Stefanski. Luke K., I feel like this year the offensive line in general for both teams gets away with more holding calls. They do, except then the Vikings offensive line, they don't hold. Cool Carp. The last Vikings to have a sub-50 pass rating was Brad Johnson, 06. Why the hell did Kirk have such a meltdown? That's a good question. He had a quarterback rating of 0 through 3 quarters, which is hard to do. Tanner Clapp, is there a possibility that Drew Samia will start again? I think he will with Elfline on IR, and also the Vikings offensive line coaches that are just stubborn. How long will Anthony Barr be out for? That's a good question. I don't know. Pending on how bad that shoulder injury is. Find out more on Wednesday. That injury report comes out. Is it Ryan Connolly time or Troy Dye? A little bit of both. I think it's a lot of Eric Wilson. Ryan Connolly only had 1 snap on defense. Troy Dye played 20, I believe. So I think it will be just a combination. But Ryan Connolly looked pretty good on special teams. I think that knee is good to go. Archangel 01. Why can't we develop anyone on the O-line? Well, comes down to coaching and technique. And Clancy Brown wasn't it. Tony Sperano was really good. RIP. And yeah, you can find a pretty stark contrast of where that offensive line was headed under Sperano. Barone and Janako, respect. They did their best given in a horrible situation. But then Dennison, Mr. Popa, Andy say it, Mike Hughes is a bust. No. I will not say it strictly because you tell me to say it. Like, you're not the boss of me. Luke K. Andy, you're the new GM. How would you fix this team this next year? Well, since you fired Spielman, you're probably okay eating dead money. So the Wilfs, I would fire Mike Zimmer. I would have Kubiak be interim. If it doesn't work out, we will start completely scrub the decks and start fresh. Hell, we might do it anyway. I would sign Snacks Harrison. I would sign Antonio Brown. Like, if you're going to be bad, just be interesting. So I would do that. Resign Josh Klein. I would reach out to Ronald Leary as well. The cap is a myth. We'll just restructure Thielen, and also we'll restructure Daniil again. Who cares? Daniil will be back. And then also, so Adam Zimmer or Andre Patterson will be... Actually, no, I'll just name Andre Patterson defense coordinator, and I'll tell him under smoke every single time. Blitz the hell. Like, again, if you're going to strike out, go down swinging. Don't go out looking. Max McElroy. I was very excited for BC Johnson after he had a great camp, and very disappointed what I've seen from him at this point. Make Justin Jefferson number 2. That's not a bad point. I mean, BC was going to have his opportunities. He's had them. Didn't look great in Green Bay. Made some huge mistakes week 2. Yeah, it's time to just unleash Justin Jefferson. Get him as many reps as possible. Brian Kayukin, tank for trade. Go Bison. Time to start trading and piling draft picks for a rebuild. You already have a bunch of draft picks. The writing was on the wall last offseason when they delayed the process. It's time to accept the fate, as hard as this is. Well, if they're going to tank, like, why'd they re-sign Cousins? That's what pissed me off the most. Let us know where you're watching from and give a couple shout-outs. Pulford Skull, you're allowed to fire one and replace them with whoever you want that's available. Who goes? Zimmer, Cousins. I mean, they're both going to cost a lot of money. I would get rid of Cousins if cost wasn't an option or cost wasn't an issue. He waived his no trade clause. I don't think you can actually send him to the Niners without eating like all the dead cap. Actually, that is interesting though. Actually, let me note. I'm going to talk about that. Trade Cousins to the Niners. Let's revisit that. Because, yeah, the Niners were over Jimmy G. Like, they're not going to re-sign him. The cap is a myth. I'm sure they could work it out some way, but yeah. I would fire Cousins. I would re-sign Sluter. I would start him for the rest of the games. Don't care. Just be entertaining. RJ Free is the... I mean, you could have had Cam, but no. RJ Free. Is the importance of having an emotional leader a bigger deal than the coaches let on? Seems like a lifeless team without Everson. Well, there's 2 ways to look at it. Like, some guys do get fired up by the rah-rah, sis boom ba pregame speech. I mean, it looks great for the cameras as well. But, I mean, if you can't get motivated without someone yelling at you, you're not going to get motivated, man. Maverick McKenzie. But also, having that guy when the chips are down, just on the sidelines, like, hey, ain't out of this. Hey, step your ish up. We got this. Don't really have that. Maverick Manziki. If the Wilfs eat Zimmer's contract, who would replace him? Lincoln Riley. Maybe. Or, hell, bring Ed Ogeron along. Colin Andrus. Do you realistically see the Vikings really turn this around? Yes. Getting some big wins? Yes. Also, what would Kirk have to do for you to want to keep him for the rest of his contract? play like he did last year and not like he has so far this year. I kind of want that second round pick now. Big road. Well, Yannick played well. Yannick is the only like good pass rusher on this damn team. Brian Coogan. Conferences aside, who's the better overall quarterback and who has a better ceiling, Trey or Trevor? I like the elite running ability Trey brings, plus kind of harm. That reminds me of Mahomes and Newton. Well, Trey, you only have 1 year to go off of. It is a lower level of competition. You do love the size. He does have a massive arm. He's got a better arm than Lawrence, as well as he's got better mobility. So maybe he has a higher ceiling, but I mean, Trevor Lawrence has done it at the highest level for 2 years, going on 3 years now, right? He's got elite accuracy and great leadership. He's got great anticipation. He's great in the pocket. He's got a solid arm. And, I mean, yeah, the guy just wins. The guy just does it in big-time games, except against LSU and Justin Jefferson last year. But, yeah, the guy Trevor Lawrence is somehow a safe pick. I think Trey Lance has a much higher ceiling, not a much higher ceiling, but a higher ceiling, but a much lower floor. Like, I mean, Trey Lance could easily bust. Clint Beastwood, $2 in Super Chatter. Secondary sucks. Agreed. Andy's Evil Twin. This team will not amount to anything. Would we all like to be wrong? Hell yes. But after seeing what I saw on defense and offense, I can't take anymore. We have to tank for our future quarterback. Luke K. Best snack when you were a kid growing up? Best snack. God, what was good? Well, it's everyone creams in their jeans about pizza rolls, but bagel bites were pretty damn elite too. Bagel bites. Get some. But also, saw our grocery store growing up. Like the meat department would just put out like these pre-cooked chicken nuggets, where they weren't like nuggets; they were more like tenders or more like popcorn chicken. But they would do the buffalo kind. Man, just destroy those as a kid. They were so good. Next up, Oakview. Why didn't we run with Dalvin early? It's a good question. Also, if we lose a Titan next week, I think it's time to tank for Trevor. I'm sit behind Kirk and then cut Kirk. Last year, eat the dead cap. But if we win, there's still hope. It's fair. I would say give it to the bye. Like if they limp into the bye at 1-5, yeah, okay. Paz Mello. I only see us beating the Lions once, the Bears once, and the Panthers. Yeah, poor Teddy. It's a terrible team. Andy Xiong. If you could swap Zim and Kubiak for any other head coach, offense coordinator in the league, who'd you take? Andy Reid. Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy. That's actually a pretty easy one. Maybe Harbaugh and Roman. Sure. Griffin Creer. Prediction for Derrick Henry next week. Pain. Actually, I expect something completely stupid, like the Vikings boat race the Titans at home in front of the fan. And then Derrick Henry has like 21 carries for 16 yards and just gets pummeled. Like game of the year, and then the Vikings go 1-15. Like that's how it's going to go. Westworld. Ngakoue will not re-sign after this year. Slick traded the 33 overall pick for a rental. Well, you get a compensatory third-round pick back, so not all is lost. Jason Sage. Do you think we will have a hard turnaround this year? Yes. If not, are you ready to sit through a rebuilding season that we literally waited this whole long off season for? Well, I mean, it's not like they're going to play Jaleel Johnson and Shamar Stephen the entire time. So you'll see the kids play a lot. Hell, if this thing goes completely kaput, maybe you'll see Jake Browning or Nate Stanley out there. But yeah, I mean, if this thing is completely in the tank, you're going to see a lot of Wanham and Lynch and Troy Dye and Gladney and El Jefe, and Dantzler and Justin Jefferson and probably KJ Osborne. I'm okay with it. Patrick Harms. Why do we always have to go through all this torture? Because we're sadomasochists. Vikings fans are like the biggest like pain for pleasure fan base in the league. I love it. Paz Mello, like just putting out cigarettes on your face. Just like right there. Wow. Paz Mello, what are the chances we will get a Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, or Kellen Mond realistically? 1,000%. Omar Max. Not gonna lie, I like Trey Lance more than Lawrence. I think he's a more fun player. Plus, also the local dynamic factors in too. Hashtag one of us, Pride of Marshall, Minnesota, who's not offered by the Gophers in PJ Flex Infinite Wisdom. See a couple shout outs. Purple Rain, Skull from Wausau, Wisconsin. What is up? Paz Mello, Greenbow, North Carolina. Preacher Paul, hauling in for all y'all. Wallace, Idaho. What is up? Double P. And Zach Bell, Skull from Northern Colorado is always next year. Hell, there's right now. Trubisky, Skull from Trempealeau. Adrian W, Skull from Bavaria. Seth V. Herman, Skull from Moorhead. Keith, Skull from Germany. Patrick Harms, Skull from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Man, so we just watched a Dateline about a murder that happened at the Cedar Rapids Mall in like the 70s. And it wasn't solved until a couple years ago through like DNA. It's really, really crazy. It's good times. I always feel bad watching Dateline because it's like people around the country consume this as entertainment, but I mean, someone died and there's a family that has to deal with that grief, but we're just using it as like, boo, boo. There's not enough evidence. Boo. Brian Kidd, go from Mesa. Boom Addicts go from La Crosse. Great town, especially this time of year. Except no Oktoberfest. Jake Simmons, go from Egan. Daniel Tuma, go from Maryland. Thomas Hayes, Baston's up here. What up? Zach McFarland, Lake Wilson, Minnesota. You guys are the best. Thanks for coming along on this great journey as we get through this Viking season. And also, if you're just joining the stream, like I said, I'm going to try and smash this up because Daddy's got stuff to do today. Omar Max, here's some realistic hope next year. Michael Pierce back, Daniil resign, and Ngakwe have a top 15 pick. Take Trey Lance, defensive backs improve, and there's 11 and 15, 11 5 Vikings 2021. Yeah, I think with Trey Lance is that especially if the Missouri Valley Conference doesn't play or they play their stupid 3 jabroni games, wherever they want to do, I think that he could fall. I could, because I think there's like an unknown element with him, and he may fall into the 15. So like the Vikings may not even have to trade up that far to go get him. Davis Warrow. This year's weird because last year the Vikes would disappoint in a game, Bears, Packers, Chiefs, and then come back and give us hope by being a decent team next week. This year's different. Yeah, this year they're just bad. Like this year they went full Bengals, Browns, Lions, Jets on the bit. Vince G. When will Zimmer and Kubiak play Tajay Sharp? The man is hangry. Playing him at wide receiver 2 will allow Thielen Jefferson more opportunities. And Cody Sprague, $2 in super chat. You're the best. Caesar Augustus. Vikings should trade Ngakwe and Kirk Cousins to the Niners and tank for Trevor Lawrence. You know what? The whole trading Cousins to the Niners thing is actually starting to get a little bit intriguing. Because, I mean, obviously they don't have any cap, right? Over the camper. All right, so the Niners have Melissa Clearfield, professor of psychology. Cool. How do I close this? Damn, pop-up ads give me malware. All right, let's see here. Niners have $9 million in cap space. We can make that work. Screw it. Shit. Next up is Torrey Hansen. I don't like saying one guy can make a huge difference in a game considering it's a team game, but if we get Hunter back, how much do you think he'll help us? Well, he plays the second most important position. Passer, get the passer. So, yeah, Daniil bringing a pass rush opposite of Yannick, so you can't double team them both, so one of them will get home. Afadi's been really disappointing so far, so that's going to help the defensive backs. That's going to help everything. So, yeah, one guy will do all that. Well, it's like, for an example, like how good do you think the Niners defense will be without Bosa? So that's basically what happens with the Vikings without Daniil. Mano Jikis. Imagine we went 5-11, fire Zim, trade Thielen, and get Jamar Chase. Would you be happy? With all the top quarterbacks off the board? No. Nah, hang on to Thielen. Spencer Sexton. Does the offensive line play warrant at least trying out Cleveland, or do you spare him the embarrassment of lining up with them? I mean, Dozier was atrocious. Drew Samia did not look good. May as well. Ezra at left guard. Josh Klein at right guard. Who says no? Woo! Lorenz Kindling. Giants trying out Freeman. Wait, like Devontae Freeman? Oh, wait, hold on. God, that's right. Yeah, because I saw him pop up on the fantasy football waiver wire. Because, like, Giants worked out Devontae Freeman. Oh, it's so stupid. RIP Giants, by the way. Should Rick reach them to make them trade Boone or Madison or not? What would they take in return? Well, not trading Madison. Boone just had a concussion, so you can't really trade him. So, I mean, maybe Abdullah. Seventh round pick for Abdullah. Max McElroy, BC and Afadi have been complete disappointments. Have to agree. They had high hopes and have met expectations. That's fair. At first, I didn't think Cousins was a problem. He was trying to make plays out there, but then it was evident. This is a big case of the Browns, OBJ, and Baker having force feed the ball to a star receiver. Jefferson was the leading wide receiver. It's almost like kid can play. He needs it on the field. Move Reef and start Ezra and go Klein. Coaching is trash. Holton Hill's off at this point. Signed Sluter. Zimmer has go time. Yes, agree. Head honcho. We should have picked Diggs over Kirk and Zimmer. I mean, maybe. Scully, we suck. 0-16, Trevor Lawrence and Josh McDaniels. Definitely no on Josh McDaniels. Screw that guy. Jake Lagavin. Do you think that lack of fans is a contributing factor to lack of urgency from players and coaching staff? Certainly in the home game. I mean, having a little bit of energy from that crowd at home certainly is a factor. Also, how do you jump off sides 3 times on 3rd down? You're at home, bro. Graham Westworld. Norv, Shermer, JDF, Stefanski is better than Gary. I wouldn't go that far. Shermer, maybe. Zach Ballas. The worst part of the season so far is the National Jabronis were right about this team. No, I refuse to acknowledge that they were rightness. Also, yeah, Jason Whitlock put out the Katie Nolan piece yet? Probably not. Next up is Trey. I can't stop daydreaming about Trey Lance, Eric Bieniemy rebuild. I'd really like Eric Bieniemy, man. I thought he was a phenomenal running backs coach. I think that he's been overlooked many times for a head coaching job. I think he deserves it. I think he'll kick ass at it. So, I mean, if poop does hit the fan, I don't think that the Wilfs, because we figured it out because all right, so the team announced that it was a 3-year extension. And we have it on good authority that Zim is a top 5 to 7 paid head coach. So that put him about $9 to $10 million bucks. So would the Wilfs really eat about $30 million to pay Zim not to coach? Probably not. I mean, that is a lot, and owners generally don't do that. So, nah. Charles Bowman, is Adam Thielen going to request a trade? Nah. I don't think he would ever do that. I think that he knows where his bread is buttered. I think that he knows that he can make a very nice living after he's done being a fixture in Minnesota. I mean, he'll be a Minnesota legend. But if he forces his way out of town and gets traded to, I don't know, San Francisco, or Denver. Trey, I can't stop date. We talked about that. Long meat. A man called me a fake fan. I don't care, but I wants to tank, be bad this year. I just don't care about getting first round in the playoffs or getting past the first round and getting embarrassed in second. We need to start over with an elite quarterback. Well, I'm always on the mind. We said this in the video before. Like, even if this team is 0-15, I still expect them to beat the Lions week 17. That's just how I roll. And I don't believe in tanking. I don't believe on losing on purpose. I think that it spreads a bad vibe and juju amongst the young players in this locker room. I get it strategically, but also, good luck trying to get a very prideful, maybe not talented, but very prideful locker room to just roll over and die. Ain't going to happen. So I'm still hopeful, man. Like 0-2, turn it around. I get that 0-2 teams, low percentage make the playoffs, but you got 7 playoff teams this year. And this young team, they're taking their lumps. Get Daniil Hunter back. Maybe Kirk Cousins gets his head out of his ass. And these coaches actually remember how to coach. Woo! We can get this. Yeah. But like I said, that is it for the live stream. Cutting it short today. Going out hunting. So that news is going to break. Like they'll trade Cousins to the Niners or something. But what are your thoughts? Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work? Pull some of the Venmo. But until next time, Skull, production value.